Hey guys, welcome back to another episode from mksenglish.com. I'm Mark, and today's topic is working with international teams. Many of you may now be working with colleagues from the US, Europe, India, and Southeast Asia. This can be exciting, but as you know, also challenging. In this episode, we'll talk about common differences in communication styles, typical problems international teams face, and practical English phrases you can use at work. So let's get started. Working with an international team is not just about language. It's also about culture, expectations, and communication style. For example, in Japan, people often communicate indirectly. This helps maintain harmony and avoid conflict. Listeners are expected to read between the lines and understand what is not said. However, in countries like the United States or Germany, communication is usually direct and very clear. People are expected to say exactly what they think, even if they disagree. Silence may be seen as uncertainty or even a lack of interest. Another important difference is speed versus accuracy. In some cultures, especially in fast moving business environments, decisions are made quickly. Taking too much time may be seen as inefficient. In contrast, other cultures like Japan often value accuracy, careful planning, and consensus. People prefer to confirm details, gather opinions, and avoid mistakes before making a decision. Because of these differences, misunderstandings can easily happen. Even when everyone speaks English well, the meaning behind the words may be different. Understanding these cultural differences is the first step to working successfully with international teams. So now let's look at some common challenges. The first one we'll look at is silence in meetings. In Japan, silence often means I am thinking. But in international meetings, silence may be understood as I agree or I have no opinion. This can be a problem if your opinion is important. Another issue would be soft or indirect disagreement. In Japanese business culture, disagreement is often expressed very softly or indirectly. People may say things like, that might be difficult, or we may need to think about this more. However, international teammates may not recognize this as disagreement. They may think, oh, okay, so it's okay, and move forward with the plan. As a result, problems may appear later, even though concerns existed from the beginning. Lastly, giving opinions. In some cultures, people expect you to share ideas quickly, disagree openly, and ask questions freely. Not speaking up may be seen as a lack of interest, even if you are working very hard. Okay, so next, let's look at some practical English phrases you can use to communicate more clearly in international teams. First, speaking up in meetings. If you tend to stay quiet, even a short comment can help. Here's some examples. Number one, I'd like to add a quick comment. One more time. I'd like to add a quick comment. Number two, I agree with this direction. I agree with this direction. Are you guys shadowing with me? And lastly, number three, I'm still thinking about this, but I have one point. I'm still thinking about this, but I have one point. These phrases show engagement even if your idea is not fully formed yet. Okay, so now let's look at some phrases we can use for expressing concerns more clearly. Instead of very soft or indirect disagreement, try these polite but clear phrases. Number 1, I see the idea, but I have some concerns. One more time. I see the idea, but I have some concerns. Number 2, this approach could cause some issues later. This approach could cause some issues later. And number 3, I'm not fully comfortable with this plan yet. I'm not fully comfortable with this plan yet. Once again, remember the shadow technique. These expressions help international teammates understand that you are not agreeing, while still sounding professional. Okay, so now we'll work on asking for clarification. International teams usually expect questions, especially in meetings. And here are 3 phrases you could use. Number 1, could you clarify what you meant by that? Could you clarify what you meant by that? Number 2, just to confirm, what is our responsibility here? Just to confirm, what is our responsibility here? And number 3, can you give an example? Can you give an example? You might have heard me use that phrase in class, right? Asking questions show professionalism and responsibility, not weakness. Okay, and lastly, let's look at some phrases we can use when we're buying time when we need to think. If you need more time, say it clearly. Number 1, I'd like some time to review this before deciding. I'd like some time to review this before deciding. Number 2, can I get back to you after checking the details? Can I get back to you after checking the details? And last one, I need to discuss this internally first. I need to discuss this internally first. Remember, clear communication now helps prevent problems later. Here are 3 final tips. Number 1, be more explicit. Say things clearly, even if it feels repetitive. Number 2, speak early in the meetings. Even a short comment helps. For example, I agree with this direction. And number 3, this might be the most important one. Don't worry about perfect English. Clear communication is more important than perfect grammar. So it's true, working with international teams can be challenging, but it's also a powerful opportunity to grow your career and your confidence in English. If you'd like to improve your business English, meeting communication, or international teamwork skills, I'd love to work with you. You can visit me at www.mksenglish.com to book a free online trial lesson with me. In the trial lesson, we'll focus on your goals and the real situations you face at work. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.